Hello, my name is Sebastian. I'm the founder at Haystack, and today we're going to be looking at some Android reviews for the Trello application. We'll read through about 40 of these reviews and see if there's any bugs or features that users are requesting. This is the first stream that I've set up so far, so we'll be working out the technical kinks as we go along. But hopefully you enjoy the next 20 minutes and we learn a little bit something about the Trello Android users and how they feel about the application. Really quickly before I start, I'm going to send over a test link to somebody who's helping me test this stream out just to make sure that they can hear it live. So sent that over to them. And yeah, let's get started. So over here, this is a little application that I built for analyzing reviews. You can see in the top right of this corner, there's the Trello application icon, and there's this little Android logo. So this is the Trello Android reviews. And here's the username for the review, the rating that they gave. So this user gave a 5-star rating. The date of the review, so this review is left on October 29th. And you can see all of the different issues that we've previously tagged before. So there's stuff like more info, meaning like that's kind of vague. RTL, meaning that they need right to left support. For example, I think there was a review requesting better support for Arabic. There was a request for multi-account support for better Android widgets. And so for each one of these reviews, I can take a look at them, and if there's a section of text on the review related to this issue, I can tag that. And why do we want to do this? The main reason is we want to be able to have a quantifiable answer to what issues or bugs or features users are requesting. So if there's 20 one-star reviews related to widgets, we want to be able to keep track of that. And that lets us build our roadmap. So for a product manager or an engineer at Trello, we can have evidence showing the team that widgets are the #1 most requested item, and if we were to implement widgets, we could improve our rating by 1 star or 2 stars, for example. And so that's why we analyze these reviews in this way. I got data for about a week of Trello English-only reviews. Trello actually has a lot more reviews in different languages, and we'll focus just on the English ones, or at least the devices that say they're in English. We'll probably find some reviews that are not in English, but the user said their device was in English. So whatever's there is what we'll be taking a look at. So yeah, let's get started. So this is a 5-star review. There's really nothing to analyze here. It's a pretty short review. So usually if it's a longer 5-star review or has something really positive and encouraging, we might want to tag that as well, just to show the team that people really love the app and what they love about it. But since this one's pretty short, we'll move on to the next one. And I'm going to try to keep this under 25 minutes. Hopefully maybe 20 minutes maximum. I'll start a timer up here on the top of my screen to keep track of that. And so this is another 5-star review. And the person loves it for planning and visualizing their tasks. Another 5-star review. So we'll just keep moving through these. Majority of reviews are 5-star, so you get maybe 80 to 90% of reviews as 5-star, and then that 20 to 10% is less than that, and you'll end up with a 4-star average rating or above, even with 10% negative reviews. Obviously, if you get into the 3-star range or even 2-star range, you'll veer up into the 30 or 40% that are less than 5-star. So again, we're hitting lots of good 5-star reviews, which is great, and Trello definitely produces a good application for Android. I use it quite a bit. This one's kind of interesting. So this is a 2-star review from Lisa Dawn Perry Schoolcraft from October 28th. And they mentioned not really as you described your app, disappointing. So, I mean, this could be related to a couple things. This could be related to marketing or something else. In this case, I'd probably detail this as a review that we need to investigate and follow up on. And I'm not going to necessarily put a marketing issue next to this, but this is kind of interesting. So for this review, we'll mark it as more info. and it's a 2-star review, and they only left kind of just like one issue in here. So we'll say that this review lost 3 stars. And what do I mean by lost 3 stars? I mean that if Trello were to solve this user's problem, they would regain 3 stars from this review, which would increase their average ratings. That's what I mean by lost stars down here. Let's keep going. Another 5-star review. This could be a quick stream, maybe even under 10 minutes. And also to give you a little bit more context, I built this tool within Retool, which is a great tool for analyzing and being able to display and visualize a bunch of data that you have in a database. So I hooked up a custom database for all of this data. I'm importing all the reviews from Google Play. The Google Play actually has an API that they expose to developers to be able to pick up all these reviews, and then I can manage them from this tool. So this tool it took me a while to build, and I've had multiple versions prior to this, also multiple static and manual versions that I maintained. But I've gotten to really like Retool over the past month or so. And for the most part, I feel pretty comfortable not only analyzing reviews here, but also giving this as like a little portal to other people's applications that you can take a look at. So let's take a look at this review from Lisa Cotton. This is a 5-star. And this is a pretty glowing review. This app is absolutely perfect, but the lack of offline mode is a deal breaker for me. I use long underground train journeys to prune my to-do list and plan tasks, so offline support is crucial for me. I wish I hadn't seen this app because nothing else in the market compares in terms of interface and functionality, but this blocker means I can't use it. So these are left to 5-star. Like they like it a lot, but they have an issue here. And this is kind of interesting because the app actually does have an offline mode. I would pull up the application, or probably for next stream, I'll have the application and emulator side by side, so you can also take a look at how the app looks and works if you're not familiar with Trello for Android. But I mean, the user just needs some clarification here. Like they need to understand that there is offline mode support, and perhaps there's a specific feature that they're trying to use that's not supported offline, but almost the rest of the app is supported offline. So if you make a board, you can make as many cards as you want, and there's some syncing there. So I would have to say that the user needs some help. And so there's actually an issue here called help. And what that means is that if our customer support or marketing or even our engineering team needs to follow up with this user and let them know we do have offline support, here's how to tackle that. And if you have more questions, we can follow up. And so let's mark this as offline. So we're going to mark, and why do we tag all of why don't we just mark the entire review with a specific tag as opposed to specific snippets? And the reason why we pick specific snippets is so that when you're looking through an issue, you see just the text that's specific to that issue. And that's really helpful if there's like 10 different reviews and maybe they're really long and maybe they have multiple issues within the reviews. You can see just the pertinent amount of text that's helpful for you. And so let's mark this as this user needs help. And since the reviewer left 5 stars, there's actually no lost stars. And so that's kind of tough, right? Because this is like the user's so passionate about the application, they want this one feature, but the fact that they gave it a 5-star review means that the developer really doesn't have that much incentive to fix this feature. Unfortunately, if you give a 1-star review, you're probably going to get your voice heard much better, or you have a much louder voice than if you give a 5-star. But we still keep track of these issues, even if the user doesn't give any lost stars for the issue. We still want to know this and take this into account when we build our product roadmap. So the number of lost stars is probably the most important thing. But second to that is the number of users who are writing about the issue, and so that's still helpful for us. So we'll continue on. We're loading up this. It's another 5-star app review. People love it. Okay, so this is a 4-star review, and the app can't accept my login details. And we have an issue related to cannot log in. There's a number of reviews from previous weeks that deal specifically with logging in, often with using your Gmail credentials. In this case, we don't have too many specifics, but we want to keep track of understanding why users are having trouble logging in. Is this a user interface issue? Is this an actual bug, or what's going on here? And so this review is lost 1 star out of the potential 5 stars. So we'll continue on to the next review, which is a 5 star. So this is a 4-star review from Deepak. And Deepak mentions lacks most of the features ZenKit provides, but still works smoother than ZenKit. Like to use it a lot. And I'm not really sure what ZenKit is. I haven't seen ZenKit mentioned before. I'm going to do a quick Google of that. So it looks like an online project management tool. And it's interesting. Trello is like a it's basically the ability to create cards, customize those cards, and organize those cards. You can have boards, you can have users. It's not a full-featured project management tool, but a lot of people do use it for that. And so it looks like this user wants more features or functionality. And how do we frame this? Because of all the issues that we have so far, nothing's kind of related to product management per se. I think this could be worthy of making a specific issue or category called, maybe product management or product tool. And I think we'll see stuff or issues related to this in the future. So let's do that really quickly. So I'm going to go into my backend tool and create a new issue. It's going to be called product. I mean, we could also make this more general, right? It might not be product management, but it could be, maybe application too simple or application doesn't fit the bill. It's worthy of thinking about and debating, how do we want to frame this? Let's keep it at product management for now. That's kind of more specific, but we can always roll it up into another issue if we need to. So let's think about this. Let's call this a product management tool. And I'm typing in my backend, so you probably can't see this right now, but I'm just entering this into my admin tool. And let's see for the summary for this issue, user desires more product management functionality. So what this allows us to do, I'll refresh the screen, and you're going to see a new tag down here called product. So that allows us to associate this issue with this new product issue that I created on the back end. And we'll also associate this issue with 1 star. So we'll continue on. We're about a quarter of the way through the reviews, but we could actually end up going pretty fast if they only have 5 stars for a majority of them. So this is an outstanding review. Trello has literally changed my work life in terms of to-do lists. Don't know what I'd do without it. Only thing it could be improved, it's not open source. I would call this a glowing review. The user's really ecstatic. I would say this is a review highlight. So I'm gonna actually go into my backend and say this is a review that the developer would probably want to look at because they're so happy. And I haven't seen a request for open source. That's kind of interesting from a user perspective, why they would want that. And yeah, I mean, we could follow up with them. We could make it its own issue. But yeah, this is probably a rare review in terms of what I understand about it. I'd probably want to follow up with the user and understand their rationale for why they want this open source. So I'll mark this as more info. And we'll give it, yeah, so there's no lost stars in this review. Let's go to the next one. So this is a 4-star review. It's pretty long. I love Trello. To date, I found nothing better. Why 4 stars, then you may ask? 2 reasons and requests. One is bulk editing, as in moving of cards. Sometimes it'd be nice to just move a dozen or so cards from one board to another in one action instead of 12. 2, so I guess they're moving cards one at a time. They'd like to be able to bulk edit them, which on the mobile application is kind of interesting. I'm not sure how they do that. And then 2 is a better Windows 10 desktop app. The current Windows app is okay, but the sync is not instant. You have to refresh by leaving and re-entering the board, and you can't automatically have open and startup. Please. So this is interesting, right? Because the user's talking about the Windows 10 desktop app, and these reviews are for the Android app. And you'll see that often, right? Users don't know where to voice their opinions or concerns. You know, maybe there's a market that you can rate the Windows 10 desktop app. Maybe there isn't. And in this case, the users having their voice heard within the Android market for something that doesn't even relate to this application. In that case, I tend to make a different issue for this. You'll see there's an issue called mobile web, and I would definitely do something for like, maybe call it like the Windows app issue. Like Windows app improvement. And I'd say like the user requests improvements to the Windows app. And I think we could throw everything in there. I doubt we'd see another one of these types of feedbacks. So this is going to be a pretty rare one. We also need to associate the teams with each one of the issues. So for the product management tool, I'd probably say the product team would want to take a look at that, obviously. And for the Windows app, I'd also say the product. This is like something that the product team would want to take a look at. We'll take a look at reviews maybe in a later stream, or like issue details in a later stream. Right now we're just looking at reviews, but that's just something that is helpful for you when you're kind of digging all these up and knowing which team should tackle what issue. So let's take a look at this. We'll get the Windows 10. We'll tag that. And bulk editing. I have not seen that request before. That's probably worthy of a new issue. Usually I try to go specific, and then if there's like a larger theme where they all really relate, I can build them. I can take the issues and kind of combine them. But I tend to like to get it more granular to start. And let's call this bulk edit. I think the product team would also want to take a look at this issue before anybody else. User wants ability to move multiple cards at once. And I don't believe that functionality is currently there for Trello. It could be, but I doubt it. And for most of the features, I know them. For sometimes I have the emulator open and I do a quick test, but let's give that an issue so the user has a little bit of a voice there. And the user left 4 stars, so that means 1 star is missing. And so there's 2 issues here. We'll give precedence, or we'll give preference to the first issue. So for bulk editing, we'll say that's where the user places that lost star. And we won't give any stars to the Windows app because I tend to think if a issue comes first, it's obviously the more important one, and if it's longer, it gets more preference. These are about the same size and length, but the bulk editing one is first, and it's also Android specific, so it makes sense to have preference for that. So we'll go to these Ultra Point. It's a 5-star. Okay, we'll probably cut it off here because it's been almost 20 minutes, but we got through 13 reviews, so we're pretty slow. Usually I go by much quicker, but not necessarily explaining the process as much. But let's finish on this one. So this is a 5-star, and it's while editing description in a card, if the phone screen times out, all your writing gets lost. So either you have to remember to tap the tick mark on the top right corner, or else your edits won't be saved, the screen turns off. Okay, so when you're developing an Android app, you always need to keep in mind screen persistence and screen state. And there's a lot of different ways to handle this as a mobile application developer. I know the Trello team actually has a lot of really good Android developers. I'd be surprised if they did something on purpose to make the screen lose, or if they didn't do this on purpose. But this is interesting, and application lifecycles also have. And when you're a mobile developer, there's a lot of different ways to deal with them, right? So there's for Android specifically, when your screen goes black, the entire application process could actually get killed depending upon what type of device you have. The Pixel devices tend to be pretty friendly and keep the application in the foreground and the activity in the foreground, but I definitely know Samsung devices that are much more aggressive about killing processes when the screen goes dark. So this is kind of interesting. We'd probably want to get some more information about what the user's talking about. We probably want to also try to reproduce it ourselves and see how this works. And so this is from approaching this issue from a developer perspective. Like it's very interesting. And so what's like the final decision? What's the final verdict for this review? I would have to say we would assume that this is a bug, at least for now, until we tested it out. And I actually test out. If a user talks about a bug, if it's a 5-minute test, I'll go quickly test it just to make sure that that's the case on my device, and giving some type of pre-analysis of these issues before I give it back to the team that I'm presenting to. And so, yeah, let's think about this. Let's assign this an issue for now. So I'll go to the issue tab, and we'll call this issue. Naming issues is always really important. You want to have something succinct, but also conveying just the right amount of information. And so this would be probably like save card. Save card state on. It's not on background, right? On. Oh, it actually is. The app is getting backgrounded in a way. On screen background on. I'll just call this save card state. So, and for the summary, user's text on the card description is lost when phone sleeps. And if this is truly a bug, this would be the engineering team that wants to tackle this one. So on my internal tool, I'll say that the engineering team would have to look at this. So let me refresh here. And there's this new issue card state here. Let's assign this issue. And this is a 5-star review, so there's no lost stars here, but it's definitely a problem, or something that's worthy of looking into. So I'll stop it there. So we got to 13 reviews, which is pretty slow, but obviously talking through all of them. And what to expect going forward. So I hope to do at least maybe like a 15 or 20-minute analysis live each week I hope to get more people involved. So I'll be marketing this more, and I'd like to look at other people's applications and reviews in real time, if that's possible, and give some feedback while I'm looking for some reviews. And the main thing I'm trying to do is, just to share the process and the knowledge, and what I've been looking at and working on for the past couple months, and get help product managers out, right? So product managers do this every week, or hopefully every week. Sometimes, if you get too many reviews, you don't have time to do this, or you might feel like, oh, like a lot of the reviews are the same over and over and over. But I mean, in the end, if you're able to tag all of these reviews and really assign a value to them, it's going to help you out a lot, because you could say anecdotally, I think this is the problem, or I saw a couple of reviews that had this issue recently, but you might not really know like what's actually impacting your rating, which is the most important thing. And then the second most important thing is like, okay, well, is this a trend? Is it not? Like, usually you store that stuff in your head, but my main goal is to help you, have this tool for you, and also proactively tell you like, what's going on. And so we'll do this hopefully at least once a week. I'll try to plan it during lunchtime, during the weekday. This is just a Saturday stream just to get it kicked off and started. But yeah, again, my name's Sebastian. Check out haystackreviews.com. And I look forward to taking a look at the Trello application more in depth later this week, and getting more people involved with this program. Thank you.